Tonight, we are venturing into a place of profound quiet, a sanctuary woven from light, shadow, and the gentle sigh of bamboo. Imagine a path, barely visible, leading away from the clamor of the everyday. A path that calls to a deeper, more tranquil part of your being. We're going to explore the whispers within a bamboo grove, seeking not answers, but a more peaceful way to hold our questions. It's a journey into stillness, a kind of quiet so deep, so enveloping. Well, let's just say, some find the sheer lack of noise a bit of a challenge. It's almost like the world expects you to be constantly busy, constantly stimulated. You probably couldn't handle this level of stillness if you tried to force it. But tonight, we're not forcing anything. We're just allowing. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. It helps others find this little pocket of calm in the vast digital expanse. And if you feel like it, share your location and current time in the comments. It's always nice to see where everyone is tuning in from, creating this invisible web of shared tranquility across the globe. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You find yourself walking, though you can't quite recall when the journey began. The path beneath your feet is soft, a mixture of earth and fallen leaves, muffling your steps until they are mere impressions, almost unheard. The air, which moments ago seemed filled with the distant hum of traffic, the chatter of unseen crowds, or perhaps just the persistent noise of your own thoughts, begins to thin. It's not that the sounds vanish abruptly, but rather they recede, like an outgoing tide pulling pebbles back into the ocean, each wave a little quieter than the last. You notice the light changing too. It's dappled, filtering through an unseen canopy far above. But as you continue, the quality of this light shifts, becoming softer, greener, as if you are slowly being submerged in cool, clear water. Ahead, you begin to perceive a different kind of density. A wall that isn't quite a wall. It's a stand of bamboo, impossibly tall, their slender stalks rising like the pillars of a natural cathedral. They sway, almost imperceptibly, a gentle rhythmic dance that seems to be in time with your own breath. Or perhaps, your breath is falling into time with them. This is the edge of the bamboo grove. There's no ornate gate here, no carved signpost announcing its presence. Yet, you feel you are at a threshold. This is the bamboo gate, an entrance perceived not with the eyes alone, but with a deeper sense of knowing. It's a passage from one state of being to another. As you pause here, you might feel a slight hesitation. The world behind you, for all its noise and rush, is familiar. This grove, with its immense quiet presence, feels different. It asks something of you, perhaps to leave behind the urgency, the need to do, and simply to be. This idea, this gentle invitation, is a core tenet in many Zen traditions, the practice of shikantaza, or just sitting. Not sitting to achieve enlightenment, not sitting to solve a problem, but just sitting, just being, fully present in the moment. A story comes to mind, a rather whimsical one, about a young monk named Kenji, who was tasked with finding the true entrance to his master's secluded hermitage, which was said to be hidden deep within a bamboo forest. Kenji, being diligent, searched for days. He looked for a path more trodden, a clearing more significant, a specific arrangement of stones or a uniquely shaped bamboo stalk. He consulted ancient texts, which spoke of gates guarded by riddles or spirits. He found many beautiful spots, many intriguing formations, but nothing that declared itself unequivocally as the true entrance. Frustrated and tired, he eventually sat down in a random part of the grove, leaned against a cool bamboo stalk and closed his eyes, simply giving up on the search. In that moment of surrender, with the wind rustling the leaves above him, creating a sound like 1,000 tiny whispers. He felt a profound sense of peace, a feeling of having finally arrived. When he later recounted his experience, his master simply smiled and said, "Ah, Kenji, you found it. The true gate is not a place, but a state of mind, opened only when you stop searching for it. And so, you stand before this bamboo gate, this non-gate. Do you need to search for a specific way in? Or is the entry made by a simple shift in your awareness, a willingness to step into the quiet? You take a breath, a slow, deliberate inhale, and as you exhale, you take a step forward. The air inside the grove is cooler, carrying the faint, clean scent of bamboo and damp earth. The sounds of the outside world are now truly muted, replaced by a subtle symphony. The creak of bamboo stalks rubbing against each other in the higher reaches, the whisper of leaves, the occasional rustle in the undergrowth that might be a small creature, or just the wind playing tricks. The light filters down in shafts, illuminating patches of moss on the ground, turning them into emerald jewels. The sheer verticality of the bamboo is astounding. Your gaze travels up, up, up along the smooth, segmented stalks, losing them in the dense canopy far above. There's a feeling of being enclosed, yet also of immense space. It's a paradox, this grove. It seems to hold you, protect you, and at the same time, it opens up a sense of infinite possibility. This feeling echoes the Zen concept of sunyata, often translated as emptiness. Not a void, not a nothingness, but an emptiness that is full of potential, like an empty bowl ready to receive, or an empty sky across which clouds can drift. This grove, in its serene emptiness, is ready to receive your thoughts, your worries, your weariness, and transform them into something lighter. As you venture a little deeper, the path, if there ever was one, seems to dissolve. You are simply moving amongst the bamboo, drawn by an inner sense of direction, or perhaps by no direction at all. Each step is a meditation. Each breath is a connection to the life around you. Some say that to truly enter such a place, one must leave behind the notion of a self that is separate from the environment. Is it possible that the you who entered the grove is already subtly changing, becoming part of this whispering stillness? Or is the grove itself an extension of a stillness that has always resided within you, now simply recognized? The deeper you wander, the more the individual bamboo stalks begin to merge into a collective presence, a living, breathing entity. It's no longer that bamboo or this bamboo, but simply the bamboo, a vast, interconnected community. You notice the subtle variations in their form. Some are ramrod straight, their segments perfectly aligned, while others have a slight lean, a gentle curve, as if bowing to an unseen force, or perhaps to each other. There's a quiet dignity in their posture, a resilience that speaks of enduring countless seasons, storms, and sun-drenched days. The wind breathes through the grove, and with it comes the grove's own unique music. It's not a melody you can hum, not a rhythm you can tap your foot to. It's more nuanced, more elemental. It's the soft rustle of leaves, a sound like fine silk being drawn across a smooth surface. It's the gentle creak and groan of the stalks as they sway, a sound like old ships moaning in a calm harbor. Sometimes, a cluster of bamboo will knock together, creating a hollow, percussive sound, like a distant wooden wind chime. This is the wind's secret song, and the bamboo are its orchestra. This idea reminds one of a Zen koan. What is the sound of one hand clapping? Here perhaps is another. What is the sound of the wind when there are no leaves to rustle, no stalks to sway? The wind itself is silent. It is only through its interaction with the world that its voice is heard. You find a particularly dense cluster of bamboo, their tops so high they seem to touch the sky, forming a natural dome. The light here is even more subdued, creating an atmosphere of profound intimacy. You reach out and touch one of the stalks. It's cool to the touch, smooth, yet with a subtle texture from its nodes, the rings that segment its length. There's a surprising strength in its slender form. This resilience of bamboo is a powerful symbol in many East Asian cultures. It bends in the wind, but rarely breaks. It yields, adapts, and endures. This quality is highly valued in Zen practice, the ability to be flexible, to meet challenges not with rigid resistance, but with a supple strength that allows one to weather the storms of life. A lesser-known teaching, attributed to a wandering Chinese Chan monk named Lin An, speaks of listening with the bones. Lin An was said to have spent years meditating in a bamboo grove, not just observing its sights and sounds, but trying to feel its essence, its vibrational energy. He taught that true listening goes beyond the ears. He encouraged his disciples to sit quietly and feel the subtle vibrations of the world around them, to let the sounds resonate deep within their physical structure, in their very bones. He believed that the bamboo's song, when listened to in this way, could clear the mind of clutter and reveal the underlying harmony of existence. Could it be that the gentle swaying you feel, almost imperceptibly, is the grove communicating in this deeper, vibrational language? You find a patch of soft moss and decide to sit for a while, leaning your back against a sturdy stalk. Closing your eyes, you try to listen as Lin An might have. You focus on the sensations in your body, the coolness of the bamboo against your back, the slight give of the moss beneath you, and then you tune into the sounds, not just hearing them, but feeling them. The rustle of leaves seems to brush against your skin. The creak of the stalks resonates in your chest. It's a subtle shift in perception, moving from an observer of the sounds to a participant in the grove's symphony. The wind picks up slightly, and a cascade of whispers flows through the canopy above. It's as if the grove is sharing its secrets, not in words, but in pure sensation, in patterns of sound and silence. This moment, this deep listening, brings to mind the Buddhist concept of anicca, or impermanence. Everything is in constant flux. The wind is always moving, the leaves are always shifting, the light is always changing. Even the bamboo itself, so seemingly steadfast, is growing, aging, eventually decaying to make way for new shoots. There is no fixed state, no permanent reality to grasp onto. The beauty of the grove's song lies precisely in its ephemeral nature. Each note is born, lingers for a moment, and then fades, replaced by the next. Trying to hold on to any particular sound, any particular moment, would be like trying to grasp the wind. The teaching here is to appreciate the flow, to find peace in the constant change rather than resisting it. As you sit, a philosophical question arises, as gentle as the breeze. If the wind is the breath of the world, and the bamboo its voice, what is being said? Is it a message of peace? A story of endurance? Or is it simply the sound of existence itself, pure and unadorned? Some might say the grove is teaching the art of presence, of being fully here now, without judgment or expectation. Others might argue it's a lesson in interconnectedness, how each stalk, each leaf contributes to the whole. Perhaps the truest answer is that the song of the bamboo is a mirror, reflecting back the listener's own state of mind, their own deepest questions and quietudes. The secret it sings is perhaps a secret you already know, deep within, waiting only for the right kind of silence to be heard. Like that monk, Kenji, who found the gate not by looking, but by being. Perhaps the meaning of the wind's song isn't found by analyzing, but by simply absorbing. You rise slowly, feeling a sense of refreshment, as if the moss and the bamboo stalk have drawn some of your weariness away. Continuing your unhurried exploration, your attention shifts from the grand scale of the swaying canopy to the smaller details at your feet and eye level. You notice the spaces between the bamboo stalks. These are not just empty gaps, but active participants in the grove's design. They define the individual stalks, give them room to breathe, to sway, to receive light. Without these spaces, the grove would be an impenetrable thicket, a chaotic mass rather than an elegant, ordered forest. This observation brings to mind the Japanese concept of ma. Ma is often translated as gap, space, pause, or the space between two structural parts. It's a profound aesthetic and philosophical principle found in Japanese arts, architecture, and even social interactions. Ma is not about emptiness as a void, but rather as an interval that is full of energy and potential. In a piece of music, it's the silence between notes that gives rhythm and meaning. In a painting, it's the unpainted areas that give definition and balance to the painted forms. Here, in the bamboo grove, ma is palpable. It's the unseen space that allows the beauty of the scene to emerge. You trace the edge of one such space with your eyes, following the curve of light that defines it. It's in these intervals that you might glimpse a shy forest creature darting through, or see a particularly vibrant patch of sunlight illuminating a cluster of fallen leaves. The emptiness is not empty. It's an invitation for life and light to play. This concept is central to many Zen practices. The empty mind sought in meditation is not a blank mind, devoid of thought, but a mind that is open, spacious, and receptive, free from the clutter of preconceived notions and judgments. It's a mind that has ma. Consider a story about the renowned Zen master Hakuin Ekaku. He was once visited by a prominent scholar who came to inquire about Zen. Hakuin, as was his custom, began to serve tea. He poured his visitor's cup full, and then kept pouring. The tea overflowed, spilling onto the saucer and then onto the table. The scholar watched with growing alarm until he could no longer restrain himself. "It is over full. No more will go in," he exclaimed. Hakuin stopped pouring and looked at the scholar. "Like this cup," he said, "you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" This isn't about the tea ritual itself, which we'll touch on later, but about the state of the vessel. The scholar's mind, like the full teacup, had no ma, no space to receive anything new. The bamboo grove, with its elegant interplay of form and space, is a constant reminder of the power and necessity of this emptiness. You come across a small clearing, a slightly larger expression of ma within the dense growth. Here, a few slender, new bamboo shoots are pushing up from the earth, their tips a vibrant, tender green. They are a testament to the life force that springs from this emptiness. The space around them isn't just allowing them to grow. It seems to be nurturing them. You reflect on how often in life we try to fill every moment, every space, with activity, with noise, with thought. What if, like the bamboo grove, we allowed for more ma in our days? Pauses in our conversations, moments of quiet reflection between tasks, spaces in our homes free from clutter. Perhaps these empty moments are where true growth and insight can occur. There's a quirky, lesser-known teaching that comes from a Korean Seon Zen tradition, involving a monk who was obsessed with perfection in the temple garden. He would spend hours meticulously raking the gravel, ensuring every fallen leaf was removed. One day his master came to observe. The garden was immaculate. The master then walked to a nearby tree and shook it vigorously, causing a cascade of leaves to fall onto the perfectly raked gravel. The monk was aghast. The master simply smiled and said, "This too is part of the garden's beauty. Perfection is not about rigid order, but about embracing the natural flow, the imperfections, the ma that life introduces." This isn't to say the space between bamboo is an imperfection, but rather that the dynamic interplay, the natural messiness of existence, is part of its profound beauty. The clearings, the gaps, even a fallen bamboo stalk slowly returning to the earth. These are not flaws in the grove's design, but essential elements of its living wholeness. As you stand in this small clearing, bathed in a slightly brighter light, you might ponder, if this space between things holds such significance, what about the unseen spaces within ourselves? The pauses between breaths, the quiet moments between thoughts, the stillness that underlies all our inner activity. Are these not also sources of potential, places where our own new shoots of understanding can emerge? Some might say that true self-knowledge arises not from accumulating more information, but from clearing space within, much like the grove clears space for new growth. Others might find this idea too abstract, preferring to focus on the tangible. But the bamboo grove simply offers the observation. See how vital the unseen space is. What might this mean for you? Leaving the small clearing, you continue to meander, feeling no particular urge to find a destination. The journey itself, through this ocean of green and gold, is the purpose. Your attention is drawn again to the way the bamboo responds to the wind. A stronger gust sweeps through the canopy, and the tall stalks sway dramatically, their tips describing wide arcs against the sky. Yet they do not resist. They bend, they yield, and then, as the gust passes, they return to their upright posture, seemingly undisturbed. There's an incredible elegance in this movement, a dance of surrender and resilience. This characteristic of bamboo is a cornerstone of many Zen parables and teachings, illustrating the virtue of yielding. It's not about weakness or passivity, but about a profound, intelligent flexibility. The rigid oak tree, in a mighty storm, might crack and fall because it tries to stand firm against an overwhelming force. The bamboo, however, by bending with the wind, survives. This is the principle of Wu Wei, a concept often associated with Taoism, but deeply influential in Zen as well. Wu Wei can be translated as non-action, non-doing, or effortless action. It doesn't mean doing nothing, but rather acting in harmony with the natural flow of things, without excessive effort or internal resistance. The bamboo embodies Wu Wei. It doesn't fight the wind. It dances with it. You recall a story, often told in Zen circles, about a young martial arts student who was frustrated by his lack of progress. He went to his master and complained, "I practice diligently every day, yet I feel I'm getting nowhere. My movements are stiff, my mind is agitated." The master listened patiently, then led the student to a window overlooking a garden where bamboo grew beside a sturdy stone lantern. A strong wind was blowing. "Watch the bamboo," the master said. The student observed how the bamboo bent almost to the ground, yet sprang back unharmed, while the stone lantern remained unmoved, but was being pelted by rain and debris. "The stone is strong," said the master, "but it is brittle. The bamboo is supple. It yields and therefore endures. Your mind is like the stone, trying too hard, resisting. Be like the bamboo. Yield to the forms, flow with the movements, and you will find your strength not in stiffness, but in flexibility." As you watch the bamboo sway, you might consider how this principle applies to the currents of your own life. The unexpected challenges, the difficult emotions, the plans that go awry. These are like the gusts of wind. Do you meet them with rigid resistance, trying to force your will upon them? Or can you find a way to yield, to adapt, to flow with the changing circumstances without losing your own center, your own uprightness? This isn't about giving up, but about a more skillful way of engaging with life's inevitable pressures. It's like the difference between a tense muscle and a relaxed one. The relaxed muscle is capable of far more powerful and nuanced action. There's a somewhat humorous, lesser-known teaching from a Vietnamese Zen master, Thich Thanh Tu, who was known for his earthy wisdom. He once told his monks, who were complaining about the noisy construction happening near their monastery, "If you try to stop the noise, you will only become more agitated. The noise is the noise. Your agitation is your agitation. Instead of fighting the noise, let your mind be like a wide, empty room. The noise can come in, wander around, and then leave. If the room is small and cluttered, the noise will bounce off everything and create chaos. If the room is vast and empty, the noise simply passes through. This teaching, while not directly about bamboo, shares that same core idea of non-resistance, of creating inner space to accommodate external pressures, much like the bamboo accommodates the wind. You find a place where a few bamboo stalks have fallen, perhaps in a past storm or due to age. They lie on the forest floor, already beginning to be reclaimed by moss and fungi. Even in their fallen state, there's a kind of grace. They are not resisting their return to the earth. They are yielding to the cycle of life and decay. This, too, is part of the bamboo's wisdom. It doesn't cling to its upright form when its time has come. It surrenders to the process of transformation, becoming nourishment for new growth. Like the empty bowl we considered earlier, which finds its purpose in its emptiness, the fallen bamboo finds a new purpose in its decomposition. This natural yielding brings up a contemplative question. Is true strength found in the ability to impose one's will, or in the ability to adapt and flow with what is? Our society often valorizes the former, the unyielding will, the relentless pursuit of goals. But the bamboo grove offers a different perspective. It suggests that there is immense power in softness, in receptivity, in the capacity to bend without breaking. Some might argue this is a passive approach to life, a resignation. Others might see it as the highest form of wisdom, an alignment with the fundamental nature of reality, which is constant change. Where does the boundary lie between beneficial yielding and detrimental passivity? The bamboo doesn't offer a verbal answer, only its silent, swaying demonstration. It is a strength that is quiet, unassuming, yet profoundly effective, much like the stillness of the grove itself, which yields to your presence, allowing you to be without demand. As you move with the gentle rhythm of your own breath and the subtle sway of the bamboo, your feet tread softly on the mossy ground. You notice the imprints you leave, shallow depressions that will soon spring back, or be covered by a newly fallen leaf. It makes you think of all the others who might have walked this way before. Monks seeking solitude, poets searching for inspiration, or perhaps just weary souls looking for a moment of peace, much like yourself. The ground beneath you feels ancient, layered with the quiet history of countless footsteps, countless moments of contemplation. You are walking on a path that is both new and infinitely old. This brings to mind the Zen concept of the gateless gate, or mumonkan, a famous collection of koans compiled by the Chinese Chan master Wumen Huikai. The title itself is a paradox. If there is no gate, how can one pass through it? It suggests that enlightenment, or profound understanding, is not reached by following a prescribed path or passing through a specific checkpoint. Rather, it is a realization that can occur anywhere, at any time, often when one stops striving for it. The path through this bamboo grove feels like a gateless gate. There was no formal entrance, and there is no defined exit. You are simply in it, and the passage is internal. You imagine the Zen monks of old, perhaps from a Japanese Rinzai or Soto tradition, walking these very kinds of groves for kinhin, or walking meditation. Kinhin is often practiced between long periods of seated meditation, zazen, to provide a mindful way to move the body, to stretch the legs, while maintaining a meditative state. The pace is slow, deliberate, each step coordinated with the breath. It's not about getting somewhere, but about being fully present in the act of walking. The mossy ground, the whispering leaves, the play of light and shadow, all would have been part of their meditative experience, just as they are part of yours now. You can almost feel the echo of their presence, the stillness they cultivated seeping into the very soil. There's a lesser-known story, more of a folk legend really, associated with a small, almost forgotten mountain temple in Korea. It was said that the head monk there, Master Bohwa, never gave formal Dharma talks. Instead, he would simply lead his students on silent walks through the temple's extensive bamboo forest. He believed that the bamboo itself was the greatest teacher. His only instruction was, listen to what the bamboo does not say. The students would walk for hours, day after day, season after season. Some grew frustrated, wanting clear answers, profound doctrines. Others, over time, began to understand. They started to notice the subtle shifts in the wind, the way the light changed, the feeling of the earth beneath their feet. They began to hear the silence between the rustles, to sense the deep, unshakable peace of the grove. It was in this unsaid teaching that they found their insights, like finding footprints in freshly fallen snow, a trace of something profound having passed. You pause and look closely at the moss underfoot. It's a miniature world of its own, intricate and vibrant. Tiny ferns uncurl, and a beetle, like a polished jewel, makes its slow way across a patch of sunlight. These small lives, unfolding in the deep quiet of the grove, are also part of its teaching. They speak of patience, of persistence, of the beauty in the small and often overlooked. The great Zen masters often drew wisdom from such simple observations. Ryokan, the beloved Japanese Zen monk and poet, was known for his deep connection with nature and his childlike wonder. He would play with children, write poetry about the moon and the flowers, and even, it's said, spend hours watching the lice on his robes, finding in them a reflection of the universe. This isn't about triviality, but about seeing the sacred in the ordinary, the profound in the simple. The footprints you leave, and the imagined footprints of those before you, raise a gentle question. What mark do we wish to leave on the world, or on the path of our own lives? Is it a heavy, indelible imprint, or something lighter, more transient, like a footprint in moss that soon recovers its form? The bamboo itself leaves no lasting mark on the wind it dances with. The wind leaves no lasting mark on the bamboo. There is a constant, flowing interaction, a yielding and receiving that leaves the essence of both unchanged yet enriched by the encounter. Some philosophies emphasize legacy, the monuments we build, the doctrines we establish. Zen and this grove seem to suggest a different kind of legacy, one found in the quality of presence, in the depth of stillness cultivated, in the quiet wisdom that is absorbed and then perhaps, subtly, radiated. Like the monk who sat in the snow, leaving only the impression of his deep meditation when he finally rose. Perhaps the most meaningful marks are those made on the inner landscape, unseen by the world but profoundly felt. The light begins to soften further, taking on a warmer, more golden hue. It filters through the bamboo leaves, painting shifting patterns on the ground, like an ever-changing calligraphy drawn by an unseen hand. You sense that your time in the heart of the grove is naturally drawing towards a gentle close, not as an ending but as a transition. The profound stillness you've experienced, the whispers you've heard, the silent teachings you've absorbed, these are not confined to this physical space. The true gift of the bamboo grove is the realization that its peace can become a part of you, a sanctuary you can carry within. This idea of an inner sanctuary resonates with the Zen concept of the original mind, or Buddha nature, Busho Foshin in Japanese. This is the inherent, pure and enlightened nature that Zen teaches is present in all beings. It's not something to be acquired or achieved, but something to be uncovered, like clearing away clouds to reveal the ever-present sun. The bamboo grove, with its clarity, its resilience, its spaciousness, acts as a mirror reflecting this original mind. The peace you feel here is not given by the grove. it is awakened by it. The grove simply provides the conditions for you to recognize the peace that already exists within your own nature. You think of a final, quiet story. This one concerns a woman named Akiko, who lived a busy life in a bustling city. She felt overwhelmed by stress and longed for tranquility. She heard of a Zen master who lived a simple life, and she traveled to meet him, hoping he would teach her complex meditation techniques or give her profound mantras. When she arrived, the master simply invited her to share a cup of tea. They sat in silence for a long time, just sipping tea and looking out at a small bamboo patch in his modest garden. Akiko grew restless, waiting for the real teaching to begin. Finally she asked, "Master, how can I find peace in my chaotic life?" The master smiled gently, gestured towards the bamboo swaying softly in the breeze, and said, "The bamboo does not leave the wind to find its stillness. It finds its stillness in the wind." Akiko was puzzled. The master continued, "Do not seek to escape your life. Find the bamboo grove within your own heart. It is always there, always quiet, always waiting." This teaching, simple yet profound, is about integration. It's not about retreating from the world permanently, but about finding that inner point of stillness, that bamboo grove in your heart, which allows you to engage with the world, with all its winds and storms, from a place of centered calm. The qualities of the bamboo, its flexibility, its resilience, its deep-rootedness, its elegant simplicity, the ma or spaciousness it embodies. These are not just external observations. They are qualities that can be cultivated within your own consciousness. Just as you learn to listen with your bones to the wind's secret song, you can learn to listen to the subtle whispers of your own inner wisdom. You come to a place where the bamboo seems a little less dense. Through the stalks, you can glimpse a different quality of light, a hint of the world beyond the grove. There's no sense of sadness at this transition, only a quiet gratitude for the time spent here. The lessons of the grove are not left behind when you leave its physical confines. The memory of the light, the sound of the wind, the feel of the cool stalks, the wisdom of yielding, the importance of inner space. These impressions are etched gently into your awareness. You carry the grove with you. As you prepare to step out, a final open question settles in your mind, soft as a falling leaf. How does the deep calm of this bamboo grove, once experienced, continue to resonate in your daily life? Is it a fleeting memory, a pleasant interlude? Or can it become a living presence, a resource you can draw upon when faced with the noise and demands of the everyday? Some say that every true encounter with such profound stillness plants a seed. That seed may lie dormant for a time, but with gentle attention, moments of quiet recollection, mindful breaths during a busy day, it can sprout and grow, creating your own inner grove. Others might believe that the effect is more subtle, an unconscious softening, a slight shift in perspective that makes the world appear a little less harsh, a little more spacious. The experience of the bamboo grove isn't about collecting answers. It's about becoming more comfortable with the questions, more at peace with the unfolding mystery. Like the unseen space between the bamboo that gives the grove its character, perhaps the most important transformations are those that happen in the quiet, unseen spaces within you. The rustling leaves may fade as you move away, but their echo, the feeling of that serene dance, remains. The path out of the bamboo grove is as gentle as the one that led you in. Each step feels lighter now, imbued with a quiet resonance. The air begins to carry different scents, different sounds, but the core of stillness you found amongst the bamboo remains, like a smooth, cool stone held in your palm. Imagine that feeling of deep calm spreading through you, like water seeping into parched earth. Let it travel from the soles of your feet, warming your ankles, softening your knees. Allow it to rise up through your legs, releasing any tension, any holding. Feel this wave of tranquility move into your hips, your belly, your lower back, areas where we often store the day's stress. Just let it go, like a leaf surrendering to the breeze. This peacefulness flows into your chest, allowing your heart to beat with a slow, steady rhythm, like the gentle sway of the tallest bamboo. Your shoulders relax, dropping away from your ears. The calm spreads down your arms, into your hands, your fingers resting softly. It moves up into your neck, your jaw, loosening any tightness. Your facial muscles soften. Your forehead becomes smooth. The journey through the bamboo grove was a journey inward, a rediscovery of a quiet space that has always been yours. You listened to the whispers of the wind. You felt the strength in yielding. You appreciated the beauty of unseen spaces. These are not just memories. They are now threads woven into the fabric of your being. Like the bamboo, root yourself in this present moment. Find flexibility in the face of life's breezes, and remember the silent wisdom held in stillness. The grove is within you. As you drift now, deeper into rest, may the peace of the bamboo be your companion. May its quiet strength be your own. Let the final whispers dissolve, like incense smoke rising, carrying you softly into your dreams.